We are so grateful to have you joining us. Brand new here in January 2025. We start a brand new year of our Windows on Waterloo. So thank you for joining us. We will spend the first couple of minutes here just allowing folks to come in and get settled in. You are getting me this week because our darling and beautiful Paige is currently on maternity leave. She welcomed a baby girl earlier this week, and she and baby and family are doing really well. And now you're going to get to have my presence for the next couple of months. So we'll see if I can carry it. She does such a beautiful job in this space. So we will gladly return it to her in a couple of months. She does such a beautiful job. But I'm grateful to be here and grateful that you are here to learn in this space as well. All right. We have a wonderful Paige has organized beautiful and exceptional topics over the next couple of months. So we're excited about what we get to talk about. This morning being, we get to talk about the Waterloo Career Center. And it's now been in our community for several years. I'm a parent and my kids are in the Waterloo schools. I have a 9th grader at West High School and a 6th grader at Hoover Middle School. And I love to hear about and to kind of watch the progress of what Waterloo Schools is doing and how they are pointing our kids toward career paths, and then incorporating some of that education into their K through 12 experience. So this has been an exciting development over the last several years. We are so glad to hear from Amy Meehee this morning. She is the the Director of Career and Technical Education with Waterloo Schools. Just learning that she's been with Waterloo Schools for a long time, and specifically with the Career Center for a long time, almost since its beginning. So I'm going to hand it over to Amy. We'll hear from her. As usual, as questions come up for you, feel free to put them into the chat. You can either put them publicly in there, or you can even indicate them to come privately to me. We will make sure that we can address those questions at the end of the presentation. So Amy knows that, and we'll make sure that we've got plenty of time for conversation and questions when she's done with her presentation. So without further ado, Amy, please tell us more.
Thank you. And then will you share so I can get the presentation?
Well, I would love to. Do you want to share it from your side? Is that easier?
Sure could. Yep.
Okay. That way, maybe you can
Yeah.
manage screen to screen. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the nice introduction, and thanks for everyone joining today. I'm going to take the opportunity to not only inform you about the Career Center specifically, but also tie it into, a big change that's coming the 28-29 school year with the Waterloo Schools on one campus at the high school level. So I'm also going to take an opportunity to inform you about some of the decisions that have been made and some of the work that we're going to be engaged in over the course of the next several years to ensure that that is a successful transition. It impacts everyone from grade 6 on up. So I also will share a little bit of information on that as well. So yes, I've been involved in the Waterloo Schools since I graduated from UNI in 2006. The majority of my teaching career was spent at East High School. When the Career Center became a thing and a developing thing, I quickly gained a lot of interest, passion, and excitement from the beginning. So since we opened officially, I guess, in 2016-17 school year, I have been a part of the process as we've grown, evolved over time. So I just want you to know the passion involved in the things that we provide, Waterloo Schools. It's really one of a kind, and you'll learn more here in a little bit. So just wanted to say that piece. Okay, there we go. The first thing I just want to, I know you probably have seen this. If you pay attention to Waterloo School, informational, anything social media, our strategic plan is what drives a decision making in our district. Our new superintendent, Dr. Jared Smith, has invested a lot of time in modifying this and really making it fit our goals, our values as a Waterloo School district. And so, what this is really going to show you is our focus areas and our goals. And that why I'm showing this, why that's important is the decisions, involved in this one high school and movement towards that are really driven by our goals and some of the areas that, really needed change. One of those being attendance with chronic absenteeism. I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of that, not only in the Waterloo schools, but just in schools in general as being a major concern area. Employee satisfaction with culture, and then school achievement. And what I'm going to focus on are some things that, I believe we are doing great with the Waterloo Career Center specifically, that all tie to improved area, increase in these areas and these goals. So just wanted to make sure to make note of that. This here is a visual of what the 28-29 school year one campus is projected to look like. We are set to break ground here in sometime this month. And, I've been involved in several meetings from the beginning about this plan and proposal. And we are on time with things, with that vote passing in November. Everything should be up and going, and that timeline should be followed as we had planned. So I just wanted to make sure you have a visual and the understanding, because I know it can be maybe misleading or some misconceptions about, is this a brand new high school? Or are we building in a new location? We are building on the current WCC and Central Middle School location. So what you see in the WCCX, so what you see in the center there is currently what exists. We are expanding upon that. You can see a new fine arts wing, as well as a new academic wing where with new classroom spaces and so forth will be added, and then a new gymnasium and Hall of Pride. That Hall of Pride is important because what that's going to include is, including a legacy of existing East-West histories as well as Central Middle School. So it's an area to dedicate, all of that history. So just want to make sure to include that visual. So what I'm going to talk to you about is kind of reimaging the future for our kids. There were some changes made into the current structure with that one high school model, with that transitioning to a 10 through 12 grade school. So that campus that I just showed you is going to be supporting our 10th, 11th, 12th grade students starting our 28-29 school year. I too, like Erin mentioned, have my own kids going through the schools. I have a current 7th, 5th, and 1st grader. So obviously I'm very excited about all kids in this opportunity, but when you have your own invested into it, it just makes it even more exciting. So academic programming, reason for this change, like some of the most important reasons why this change was necessary is not only looking back on what our goal areas are and things we want to improve on, what was happening wasn't working. And we can look at data to prove that. So one of them being the most important is access and equity to the Waterloo Career Center. Currently, students are transported to our center to and from east and west, and then we also partner with 12 and growing schools around us. So currently, our own Waterloo School students either have to drive themselves or can be bused. There's some issues with that when it comes to taking time away from their day, the classes that are required at their home high school, and I can get more into that later on. Scheduling efficiencies, there's increased opportunities by being on one campus. When it says decreased duplicates, what we currently offer at East and West High School aren't equal. It's not, it's an equity issue. We have, issues with the numbers of kids in classes. And so what one campus would do is eliminate some of those concerns and be able to offer those opportunities for all kids and on one campus. I already talked about a comprehensive campus zero traveling, and then creating a connection to a home building. What we often find when we have, students maybe not coming to classes out here is really, if you think back to being a high school student, leaving your home high school and leaving your friends is a big deal at that time. And really thinking about that opportunity to make this their home is really a true benefit to just that feel of a high school environment for our kids. So one adjustment, like I said, would be at the secondary level with what that's going to look like. I've kind of put out projections of enrollment. Of course, this study is all guesstimates, just based on projected enrollments. But this one campus would have a projected enrollment of about 1,900 kids of 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students at the current WC Central campus. Then we would also at the buildings that remain, so East and West High School, 8th and 9th grade students would be distributed between those two buildings. A boundary study is something that is currently happening as a committee. And then the current middle schools that remain with Central going off campus, Bunger, Carver, and Hoover, would be where our 6th and 7th grade students would go, and then our elementaries would remain the same. These adjusted grade configurations, there's a lot of reason for why this is going to benefit our kids that centrally focus around our academic, social, and emotional needs of our students. I think what's most pressing about that is getting like age kids in a smaller learning environment to provide their academic, social, and emotional needs of physically like similar age range and kind of some just things they deal with during that age range. Again, East and West will support our 8th and 9th grade students. Again, I talked about smaller learning centers to focus and support kids. Some of our biggest transitionary years and biggest struggle years of any of age kids across K-12 are going to be kindergarten, 6th grade, and 9th grade. And those are the huge transition years. If you think about moving from one building to the next, just entering kindergarten, it's huge transition in a child's life. So we have an opportunity and what we're spending our next several years to really focus in on how can we best support kids so that we can change that dynamic of it being one of the biggest year of struggle to one of the most successful. And so that's what we're determined to provide a better learning environment, planning for that to come. Wahleu 9th grade student data from 23-24, so last school year, 32% of students with less than 11 credits were our 9th grade students. So as a 9th grader, you need 11 credits to move on as a sophomore. And so 32% of our total 9th grade students are currently earning, based on last year's data, less than 11 credits. So that ability to move as a freshman into sophomore year, very concerning. It's a strong indicator of what success a student will have upon graduation. So we know what we're doing currently wasn't working, and so what can we do to improve this for the success of our kids? And then 58% of those students were chronically absent. So that's over half of 9th grade students. If that data doesn't tell you, we need to make some change. And so that's really what has driven a lot of our work in this need. This is nationwide research on 8th and 9th grade rationale, again, for reasons supporting why this needed to happen. Again, related to absenteeism, lack of engagement, increased responsibilities, ineffective strategies, and managing high school. Again, having that 8th and 9th grade year to really prepare them. What does it mean to be a high school student? What is a credit? How does that impact me? Really being able to focus in on those things that are very important those years. Students failing half or more of their classes, 10% probability of graduating, which I did speak of, and then less than 25% of 9th grade students off track graduate in 4 years. So this kind of leads me to some of the data, which I think data is always what is important to see, why something might be working. And What I can tell you about the benefit of a student taking at least one course at the Career Center, this is all based on last year's data, is that our 4-year graduation rate is 96% of the students that take at least one class here at the Career Center, compared to the overall rate of 73% graduation rate at the district level. Our average daily attendance rate is 97.8 compared to 90% at the district level. And then our GPA, grade point average, is 2.9 compared to a 2.2 at the district level. And then none of our students were dropouts, which we're really proud of that, to say that just a student taking one class and factoring in that throughout the whole last year, none of them were a dropout, was pretty incredible. I'm going to show you a quick 2 to 3 minute video. What I think this really is going to give you insight on is what really happens at the Career Center, some perspectives of not only some staff, but students. And I think the students are really what is really going to tell the story about the opportunities they are provided for them here.
Not everybody in Iowa gets an experience like this. We have stuff that people wish they could have for years. Like this place is amazing.
Oh, it's so great. I mean, just the fact that you have so many classes in one building over like a wide variety of careers is great. Just really fueled that passion inside of me.
Well, we have students that leave here and either they're prepared for college, even the military, even going on to internships themselves. Many times students, like, they're not sure what they want to do, and that's okay. You're not necessarily in one pathway, but you can try a lot of different things, collaborate together.
There's a lot of collaboration that goes on here, working together side by side so that kids can see, okay, yeah, I'm going to own a restaurant or I want to own a food truck, but what other skills do I have to have? I need to know marketing. I need to know accounting. I need to know retail. I need to know business. I need to know art. So it's huge, and it helps to have all those teachers on board and willing to show a kid what it would take to own their own business and be successful in it.
I feel like somebody should come to the Career Center because there's a lot of opportunity out here and there's a lot of room for like error and, oh, I can try this, I could try that.
I was going to go into the medical field, but it just wasn't for me. Getting the chance to find what I like and find what I don't like was amazing.
It's fun. I like it. I mean, it helped shift my career focus a little bit. I was kind of in between stuff, and now I'm kind of narrowing it down now since I found something I like.
Exactly.
One of the fun things I get to do is let students experience hands-on with this professional industry standard equipment. They can learn a skill that then can be used in the industry in lots of different ways. It certainly has paid off for students that have come through here.
I go to Janesville. I came to Waterloo because they have lots of opportunities for me. This place is awesome. We learn so many things.
The building's nice. The teachers are all super nice. You kind of feel like you're in college almost.
Just the atmosphere, the vibe. It's just you come here, it's like, I'm going to WC today. What could happen? Make new friendships, new connections. The teachers are very welcoming. Everybody here wants you to be better, wants to help you grow. It just helps you get ready for the next step of life.
It's an amazing opportunity because most people have to pay for college to get these opportunities, and I get it for free.
These classes are for free, so why not take the opportunity? I mean, I myself, I kind of regret not taking it earlier.
Just do it. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and there's no negatives to taking these classes. It's a really good experience.
I think it's a privilege. I think it's a really great privilege, and I don't want to take anything like this for granted. Just full send, jump right in, join it, because not joining it is the biggest mistake you can make.
You just have to come here and just put your foot in the pool. Like, you never know. You can't knock it till you try it. Why not? Why not take the chance?
So I hope that video gives you chills, does every time I show it and listen to it. It just is a lot of all the work that we've put forth, just really resonating with students. It's exciting for me to listen to a student connect to what they're doing and how it's benefiting them. So proud to hear them speak of that. So what I think is most important always when I talk about the opportunities we provide kids here is how is it benefiting them? I can go in the nitty gritty of like, what's our schedule look out here and who is it for? But starting with the benefits of the kids, I can answer some of those questions as we get through it. But we've got 20 academies offering courses in hundreds of career pathways out here. That's kind of changed over time. We started back in 2016-17 with 2, and we've now grown to 20. And it's just really amazing how much a student can come out here and walk away with in one specific pathway or the many that we do offer. Many students will come out here and not really understand, I want to be a chef. The many opportunities of other careers related to that once they get into the classes and kind of see what else is out there. So it's always exciting to see, what happens as they kind of grow and learn throughout that experience. And then we also have those that do learn that that's not what I want to do, and it's a win-win for them. We like to say we offer students a competitive advantage. Come 2028, we will be the only school in the state that offers a career center right on campus with the high school. I would like to say that we do provide students, when I say competitive advantage, they are walking out with experiences that no other high school student can say, really across the state, even nation in some areas. Oftentimes students are going on to, if they go on to college, already at sophomore status or already at a level that in comparison to peers, they're just getting started. And so we're super proud that we can bring some of those certification opportunities and chances for a student to excel as a high school student, in a college type class. So classes out here are free to students. Everything book-wise, resource-wise is provided for them. They get 67% of our classes. So over half of our classes are concurrent, meaning college credit class. They can earn that and then also a high school credit class. So again, about 67% do have a college credit along with that high school elective credit. So again, I recognize nationally recognized certifications. That is something that has only grown. My staff work with business partners on a regular basis, and so really we couldn't do it without them. So we are super appreciative of the knowledge and resource-wise of what is going to best provide our kids success in a certain career field based on certification. So what can they walk away with that's really going to get them set up for success, ahead of others to really excel once they are at the workplace. Professional skills or soft skills, these are definitely a priority across the board. Each program, that's a part of the grade. And so what it's really teaching kids is, what does it mean to be a professional in this career path? It's going to look different in the culinary room than it is in the electrical room. And so really learning basic skills, because that's what we hear from our business partners. Some of the main concerns and biggest concerns out there are coming to work on time, coming to work and being engaged while we're there. And so how can we teach that and instill that in our kids walking into the doors here? Career readiness, again, everything that is implemented in courses here, if they are a concurrent class or a general ed class where they're getting high school credit, they all are working towards learning goals, right? Or student learning outcomes. What do you want your kids to learn by the time they're out of your class? How they get there is the creativity of my staff. I couldn't do this without the staff. I've got an incredible number of people who come directly from the profession. That insight is unmatchable when you bring that to a classroom. And so everything that they're instilling in their classroom is knowing what it's going to take to be successful in that career path. And so bringing that to life in the classroom and being able to share their experiences, their professional input, it's an incredible experience that students are getting with that in mind. Path to discovery, I kind of talked about that. Students, they can try multiple classes out here. They could start in a class and decide this isn't for me and still have time to switch into something different. That's what's, I think, the opportunity that's most beneficial to kids out here is being able to discover what, you might like or dislike, not paying for it, not going through 5 or 6 years of college debt to discover, you know, what I came here for is not what I want to do anymore. And I changed my mind 4 or 5 different times. So they truly have a great opportunity here to really discover that as a high school student. Work-based learning is another amazing opportunity students have to really get a feel for what they might be interested in. So after a student has taken a class out here, and they want to go into, let's say, welding, we're going to find, and they want to go work at a welder at a local company, we're going to work with our business partners, and we're going to do everything we can to find a placement for them to basically spend a semester or more of time really learning what that job looks like. So that's something we're super proud of, and that's only growing and increasing over time. So internships, apprenticeships are also another path that students have out here. We have specific business partners that John Deere, for example, we partner with, that really allows students to get started on an apprenticeship and accumulate those hours and that experience as a high school student. I think what's most incredible about our work-based learning programming is the number of students who are being placed in our community, getting jobs that all originally had started as a high school student in that internship experience. It's incredible, you know, the amount of support we have in our community of opening the doors, allowing students to learn, but then also allowing them that opportunity by hiring them. We have a number of examples of students who have started as an apprentice here, continuing on, let's say, Iowa State, in whatever that pathway might be, offered to work in the summer, and then offered a job ultimately if they chose to decide to stay with that company after graduation. We couldn't be more proud of those types of experiences and the learning that goes along with that. Tied with work-based learning, but always out here is networking opportunities, really teaching students how that helps you in your future at a young age. And so they stress that every day that they're in here and what they're wearing. We have a number of business leaders in this community in our building, in and out on a day-to-day. What you look like and how you act all impact future opportunities. And so we really try to make sure students understand the importance of that. Going back to the one campus, one community, tying in, you know, why the Career Center is a special place along that journey, but really it's just establishing a strong educational foundation from the time a student enters pre-K in our district by the time they graduate and beyond for long-term success. Every stage of education from elementary to high school is connected. Consistency and support are key for student growth. Really coming together with that. And then our comprehensive approach, our goal is to create a unified and streamlined educational experience pre-K to high school that ensures that every student progress through each stage, that they all have equal resources, support, and the structure needed so that they thrive. And then lastly, you know, why the change is needed. I think I talked a lot about the data and why what we've been doing isn't working. I hope that you hear and that resonated with you, the importance of why we feel these changes are needed to meet the needs of all of our students. A single high school will allow us to address gaps, ensure equity, and provide all students the same opportunities regardless of their background or where they live. So that's what I have for my presentation, and I will now open this up for some of the questions that you may have related to specifically to the Career Center, to our One High School project, or anything that you might have, Erin.
I love it. Thank you so much, Amy. We're excited about this project, and just it's been fun to watch from a distance how much it's grown. As we wait for some of the questions to come in, I'm just curious, which programs are available to students? Even if you just kind of answering some of those tangible questions of like, which programs are currently available, which ones seem to be most popular among your students, which ones are sort of chosen more than others, and then are there any that are coming online here pretty soon?
Yeah, so we just actually added or re-added one of them, but 5 new programs this year. But going back to you know, starting out, the first 2 programs that we began 2016-17 school year with were pre-nursing and our digital graphics, and those remain a high interest area. always full programming. But since then, like I said, we've grown to 20. We've added a little bit of audio and digital media to the digital graphics. We've expanded on business marketing and entrepreneurship. Students can also choose different education paths. We've got a high school, middle school, so K-12 teacher prep program, as well as elementary ed. And if a student were interested in owning their own daycare programming. And then we have 4 different trades programs. So students can take everything from advanced manufacturing to electrical to plumbing to construction. We have culinary and hospitality, really learning the industry of what that is like. Then we have EMT, students that want to go into fire science. That is something that we're newly adding and expanding onto that program with. And then like I had referenced, we do have 5 new programs. So just this fall, agri-science was added, power tech, which is our auto and diesel. We've also added beauty and wellness and cosmetology, criminal justice and police science. And then the hospitality was something that we've offered in the past that we brought back this year on campus. So that's just an idea of the programs that we offer. But like I said, culinary is a high interest area. We have an anatomy and physiology course related to our health programming and tied to our nursing that is very high interest, as well as electrical. And then when we added our new programming from the get-go, our beauty and wellness, as well as our power tech or auto, were full right away. We've known for a long time in our district, those were 2 high interest areas. So we were really excited to be able to bring those and offer those to students.
That's awesome. Such a wide variety. I mean, there really is so much available based on interest and even things that either can be accomplished before they've graduated or shortly after they've graduated and straight into a career opportunity, or something that's going to prepare them a little bit more for a longer term educational opportunity. It's really neat to watch such a wide variety meeting such different needs for kids. Can you, a little bit more of a tangible question here, tell us a little bit more about how much time is a student spending at the Career Center? So we know that, we assume that they're still taking some of other normal credits that we maybe were more accustomed to in high school, whether it's English or math or science or whatever it might be. So how much time are they spending in these types of classes during their school day?
Yeah, it really varies upon student. So the courses are offered grades 9 through 12. We primarily have 11th and 12th grade students out here due to scheduling. We have a growing number of 10th graders increasing, but so our schedule out here is blocked. So we have 4 70-minute periods or blocks out here. The high school offers an 8-period day. And so one class out here is actually 2 class periods at the high school. And so that is one of the areas that, was concerning when we talk about equity for students and access to the Career Center. Is not every student has that capability available in their schedule. Not every student is successful as a freshman or sophomore. And so that might get them behind credit wise, really not allowing them to take classes here in a sense of the courses that they do need to have to graduate. And so it really depends on the student. We have a growing number of seniors out here that are out here full time, are taking multiple blocks worth of class. And so it really just depends on the student situation, grade they're in, and where they're at on graduation track.
Okay. And I can see this is, I had let Amy know that I was reading an article just recently. It actually came into the Courier in December. And essentially what the Courier was reporting was some of the Iowa Department of Education's annual Iowa School Performance Profiles, which measures categories like subject proficiency, graduation rate, and then chronic absenteeism. And Amy, you addressed a couple of these really early on in your presentation. It's one of those things that I think as a Waterloo resident, that those are some of these reports are things that we're paying close attention to, because we can tell through this type of reporting that that in some of these areas, the percentages seem a little bit concerning about student performance. And I think what was really interesting in the article is that, for example, I'm gonna throw some percentages out here for our group, and then I'll give Amy a chance to chat about this too. But in our district, the chronic absenteeism rate was 39% reported, and I think that was the 23-24 school year. If I can remember correctly, you might have to correct me on that one. Whereas the state average was like 21%. What was interesting is that it is, however, in alignment with some of the other school districts in Iowa that have demographics that are similar to us. So it would be, or to Waterloo. So that's Davenport, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, for example, are in that 38, 39, 36 range. They also indicated that the four-year graduation rate for Waterloo in that school year, and again, you might have to correct me and I can look too, I think it was the 23-24 school year, was at 71%, which compared to the state average of 87%, but again, was in a little bit more similar alignment with Davenport, Des Moines, and Cedar Rapids, which were reporting kind of 72 to 78%. So as we look at pretty concerning statistics, right? Where we go, gosh, absenteeism seems like it's high. First, why, right? And graduation rate seems like it's dropping. Why would that be? And then can you help us understand maybe the benefits of a school district with demographics like this, with percentages reporting in this way? Why a career center, and how does this seem to be addressing our population?
Yeah, I can first say I wish I had the data. I know that our superintendent recently shared some of the huge strides we've made with some of these percentages from last school year to this school year. I know it's out on social media. I just was trying to find it here and I couldn't.
No,
but,
that's fine. Yeah.
I think a lot to say is having those goals, a strategic plan, and really getting tight with that across the district in each of our buildings, and refocusing those goal areas has helped tremendously, and different strategies to get there. So one of the biggest obviously was chronic absenteeism. And so each school actually has an attendance team that's newly formed from this into this school year. And I think a lot of those efforts, if you see the data out there, everything has improved. I think a lot of those efforts is really telling to the different strategies we've tried to ensure that students are coming to school. There's a variety of different methods, depending on, even school dependent, right? And what that might look like on how that's successfully happening at each of those. But I can tell you that all of our concerned areas are improving. And so that's definitely enticing moving forward. But I will say, like, having the career center and looking at the attendance rate and the GPA, in comparison to the rest of the district, like, our students want to be here. I've talked about a lot of the reasons why, but I think, I've got a staff that creates an incredible experience. We've got students that are either they know or they're figuring out what it is they want to do, and they're seeing the benefits of their experience here. And I think that is driving kids wanting to be here. I mean, we've got partnering school kids who they always follow their home high school. If they cancel school, if whatever, they're still coming here. They're still coming when their schools close because it's a snow day and Waterloo school's still going on. So we see a lot of evidence of students just really wanting to be here and being engaged, and the difference that it makes on coming to school.
That's encouraging. And I can see why, right? I think especially when we get to that age, teenagers get to that age, they want to be able to see the eventual impact of what they're doing. So there needs to be a relationship between what am I doing today, what is it producing, and am I seeing some kind of a personal benefit to it? And I think this makes that connection so much more obvious, that they're moving forward in a direction that matters to them. It's exciting to see. Are there any other Iowa districts that are taking a similar approach? So even as we are talking about other districts with similar demographics to Waterloo, are you seeing career centers being developed in some of these other communities?
Yeah, across the states, several do exist. It may look just a little different. Central Campus in Des Moines is probably the most like the way that we're structured. It is a standalone structure for Des Moines, but similar concept. But then there are surrounding communities. Cedar Rapids stands out as a most recent several visits here, just really trying to adopt a similar idea and a little bit of a different format. But schools like Cedar Rapids, I know Davenport, they basically have schools that are known for certain career paths. So kids can attend and go to those schools to kind of get the same experience. It's just a matter of that transportation piece being a little different. But definitely similar structures and concepts. But I will say what we offer is definitely, I would say, unique in comparison to those.
And standalone in Des Moines, you mean that the Career Center is apart from the high school and the kids are commuting to it, similar to what they're currently doing in Waterloo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's why this one campus is so important to us. And that
Yeah, and what a neat thing that we're gonna be able to model, having the equity issue,
Yep.
really taken care of, that kids are able to access, this programming at their home high school. I'm excited about that. Okay,
Absolutely. One
good.
big thing with equity for us when it comes to some of the issues we've looked into is, a student who would really benefit from this experience, who might not be getting the opportunity because they're credit deficient. They're not on track to graduate. But what we find so often out here is they do take a class, and that really drives them to want to be better. We have evidence of it across several different experiences among students. And so we really want to open up that was the intention of the Career Center, back with inception. And so we really want to make sure that we get back to that initial model, and we feel that this is going to give that experience to kids.
That's
Okay.
great. That makes so much sense. It's just the accessibility of it, right? You can walk down the hall to try a class like this to see if it motivates you in other areas, rather than we just can't have you off of campus for that long because we need your attention in some of these other primary areas. So I can see how the accessibility starts to make a huge difference for a student that's kind of on the fringe there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, neat. Okay, what kind of programs are you sort of dreaming about? So what are the ones that are still kind of bubbling up, or that that you're just still kind of maybe the inception date isn't yet on the radar, but ones that you're thinking about?
Yeah, so right now with adding, the most recent ones we did, we're kind of on a standstill, but one that we are going to make part of next school year is HVAC. We've seen a need, especially talking with our business partners, on really giving students that more than just the plumbing track. And it really is a high need area when it comes to jobs out there available in our local businesses. And so that will be something that we're expanding on. We're always looking for ways to add more courses within a program. So when we are a one campus in 28-29 school year, the scheduling that currently exists out here is going to be changed just a bit. We right now obviously have to schedule around transportation. We now are going to have our kids on campus, and so that transportation and travel time will no longer be needed. So really spending the next couple of years putting together a schedule that really creates more opportunity for students, more career pathway classes that could further advance a kid along in that career. So as to what specific careers, we don't know. Right now, we have ideas, but I guess the capabilities will probably not be known until we are on one campus and being able to kind of look at what direction we can head.
The programming relies on quite a few business partnerships, whether that's investment. I assume some of that is financial investment, as well as opportunities that they make available to students. I guess I'm not quite sure. Tell us a little bit more about your business partnerships, and when you are a business partner, what typically is sort of the mutual benefit that's happening?
Yeah, it really is up to each business and what that looks like. So often we're approached, and upon that conversation is these are the ways that people have businesses have partnered and do partner. It's really up to the business on what that might look like. I think just the sharing of resources just so meaningful and beneficial to us. Expertise, what really is necessary and needed in today in that area. Um, but I think also too with the work-based learning and the internship, apprenticeship placements, and just that trust and opening the door to allowing a student their time, their, you know, um, patience and everything else comes along with allowing students to be able to work for them momentarily. So I think it really just depends. Again, it's just a variety of kind of what the business wants to do, but oftentimes we see whether it's them coming in to talk to kids and present to kids, them visiting the business themselves, a lot of financial and monetary donations, equipment wise, just money to support whatever you might need. So a variety of ways, but
That's
kind of
great.
depends on the business.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any, just because this is a well-networked group of people and community-minded people who jump into these conversations, I'm curious if there's any industries in which you wish you had another business partner, or you wish you had another little bit of support in a specific space. Is there any industries that you go, you know, we really could use another partner in this area?
Yeah, I think with our new programs, that just comes with time. You know, our agri-science instructor is not new to teaching, but new to our area. And so what his familiarity is not this community. And so anyone related to agri-science, that would be one area. And then also our power tech or auto. We recently signed on with Rydell, but open to any support. Some of these programs and the equipment needed are just at high cost. So donations related to anything that help give students experiences. Those are two of I guess probably the most that stand out to me on a need. Our IT cybersecurity program, I didn't mention when I went through all of our program. This is an area where we've got a lot of support, but always open to expanding anything in that world. As we know, that's a very high need area, especially in our
Yeah.
near future. So, yeah.
Neat. Because I can see that multiple partners in each area is probably helpful, because you have different companies or different organizations addressing whatever that industry is or need is in a different way, that you're going to get a variety of different approaches to it, which is kind of neat. Yeah, we have a great comment here from Esther. She says, we love our partnership here at the Child Care Resource and Referral. It's been a great in supporting the growth of the early childhood teaching profession, with getting these students the training they need and potential opportunity to work in our childcare programs if they choose. She loves how the Waterloo Career Center is trying to support building that profession. That was good to
Right
see.
back at you. We appreciate your support.
That's great. It does. These types of things require such long-term and invested partnership to make it work. So I'm glad to see a mutual benefit there. As always, we love to ask, what are the ways that our greater community can be supporting the Career Center? What are the ways that we might be able to be walking alongside you and giving you what you need?
Yeah, I think most importantly is just sharing your knowledge about what it provides for kids. You know, hopefully this was informational and kind of better insight, but I think it's really hard to talk about. Oftentimes they say, come visit, because once you see it and once you see the kids engaged and kind of what it's really about, you really kind of start to understand really what the benefit and meaning is for kids. So I think that's important, is to really spread that message about what it is for kids. But then also, if there's ever any interest of getting involved, supporting, I mean, we've got people who might ask for different projects going on in their organization. And I always start with my instructors to see, is this something that, you know, you can support first? Always open to that, because any real life experience for a kid that's something that's truly happening in our community is only benefiting them and providing them an experience that, you know, makes it real life for them.
That is great. If somebody has a creative idea or they want to get invested a little further, are you the person that they should be connecting with?
Yep, myself. I also have a dean of students here, Whitney Fisher. Information's all on our website, Waterloo Career Center, but
Wonderful. Okay. We'll go ahead and include some of that information in our follow-up email as well, so that people have a little bit of contact info for moving forward, just in case that any creative ideas are sparked and need to be taken advantage of.
yeah, some of the examples, just so you can kind of,
Yeah.
saying that we do some things, but some things that come to mind. I think it was 2 years ago, our audio digital program was asked if students would put together the presentation for Grove Cedar Valley for their annual event. And so our students got to do that and experience that, attend it, be recognized. It was an amazing experience. Students from the same program were also asked to create a kind of intro for the Waterloo Warrior hockey team. So they got to design that. There's a name for it, but your intro video that really hypes you up for the coming season. This year, our business students, between both marketing and entrepreneurship, it started last year, I believe, but they decorated downtown Waterloo for the holiday season, interacting with businesses all downtown, and just that experience of putting on an event through the city. I think there's anything else that stands out, and we've had just such a number of different types of examples. Waterloo Youth City Council, I know, has had some involvement as well.
Awesome. Those are really good, tangible examples of how we might be able to tap into some of the talent that's happening and the learning opportunities that are happening over there at the Career Center. That's great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so as the ideas get sparked, team, we'll let you know who to contact over there at the Career Center so that we can continue these opportunities for our local students. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing, Amy. It matters. It matters to our students. It matters to our families. It matters to the future of Waterloo. So thank you for what you're doing. We really, really, really appreciate the hard work that you put in every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the time to be able to share more about. I do appreciate that. So, and thanks for everyone joining today.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate your time learning about the exciting things that are happening in our community. We'll be back at it in February. So our next Windows on Waterloo is going to be on Wednesday, February 5th at 11 o'clock. We're going to have Rashonda Young joining us in February to hear more about a collaboration of public and private stakeholders and nonprofit organizations that are going to be an economic mobility hub over in what used to be the old Wells Fargo building, downtown Waterloo. So we'll get to hear more about that from Rashonda Young and the exciting things that they're doing over there in that collaboration. But thank you again, Amy, and we look forward to seeing the rest of you in February. Thank you.
Thank you.